This stuff here in Yerushalmi Pesachim. The article is for addition on Daf Ayin Chesam Alf right at the top, beginning the Mishnah Lachadalid in the Vilna. We're on Daf Samachei Omer Alf Lachadal, which is towards the bottom. Pesach Babatuma. Pesach comes with Tuma. That means Tumas Meis, Ucha Betibur. Lochlen Zavin Zavas Nidas Vildos. The people who have other types of Tuma may not eat from it. Imachlu, if they did eat from it, Pturim B'Koris, they're parted from Koris. Even though normally someone eats a carbon Tumas Aguf, is Chayav Koris. We're going to see in this case they're parted. I was going to explain. But now, according to Tanakamba, though, if they enter the parts of Beis HaMikdash, but they're not allowed to enter, certain parts of Beis HaMikdash, even a Tomei Mace is not allowed to enter. Certain parts of the Tomei Mace is allowed to enter. So there's a whole controversy nowadays with people going up on a Har Bayis, even though it's Tomei Mace. But they go to the mikveh to exempt themselves from the other types of tumah. Some person is telling you the other types of tumah can't go those places where Tomei Mace can go. Of course, can't go places where Tomei Mace can't go, for sure. But in any event, so according to Tanakama, the people who are Tomei who go up to the Beis HaMikdash, other types of tumah, are still chayav in Beis HaMikdash. They have no dispensation. Meir says no when Tumah Ucha B'Tzibur and the Tomei Mace can go anywhere they want. So in the Beis HaMikdash, so the parts are normally forbidden to go in. So the other people Tomei went in those areas, they're also part of Koris. Okay, and what I was going to explain. Tani, we learned right. Meir Mechayev. Meir says if a Zav did eat from the Korban Pesach, was Baba Tumah, he's chayev, not like our Mishnah. What's the logic of B'Shimon? Unfortunately, we have the article Torah or Shalem, which gives us the whole pasuk. But it's actually next pasuk. So there's a juxtaposition here. The first pasuk says, and then it says when then somebody eats betuma, then he gets koris. Right? So we learn the psukim. Eshu mutar l'tayrim, the ones which are mutar l'tayrim, which is the first pasuk, parak second pasuk utes. Then at that point, if somebody tummy eats from it, etc. Again, a shemuta the term chayav l'mishum tuma. Yotza pesach shva betuma is opposed to pesach which comes betuma. Here in the Vilna it says here yochlu, but Shuni's code changes it to v'ochlu, and Art's code just changes it in the text itself without parentheses, without brackets. Just change it straight up. V'ochlu mimenu zavim mizavas niyas v'yodos, since it's not limited to kol Torah yochel basar, right? So therefore, there's no chores for the Tameim eating from that Korban Pesach. It goes on saying, Eshe'enu mutar l'tayrim, that which is not mutar only to Tahorim. Right, it's a little bit twistier. Ein chayla mishum tuma, the other Tameim are not chayav because of tuma. Okay, now, but then, interesting question. Ochel ola, ochel imurim. What if this a person ate an ola or the imurim of other karbanos betuma, right, which are not mutar for zorim, right? They're supposed to be from the guy mizbeach. So what's the story with them? Are you chayav koris for eating them betuma saguf? So he says no. Nachashem mutar tarim. Only that which is mutar to Torah. In other words, only that which is intended for a Torah to eat. If a Tum ate is chayav koris. But the murin and an ola, which is not intended for Torah to eat anyway, supposed to be brought in the mizbeach, ain't chayav alav. If he eats a tumas aguf, he's not chayav koris on it. Okay. Nichnas balayla. Now, what if we'll actually ask a question according to Rabbi Eliezer, right? He says, "Nabias mikdash lepoter." What if he comes in the mikdash when a time when it's not the time of the avodas hakorban? Nichas balayla comes at a time at night. Nichas kohen l'fshei shos, it comes before 6 hours before the korban pesach can be brought. We only start at 6 hours in a day. So I still say it's part of Beis Mikdash? Or do I say, no, it's not the right time for him to be allowed to come into Beis Mikdash? So therefore, he's definitely chayiv. The Gemara doesn't resolve the question. Just leaves it dangling. I think it sounds like Korban Eidah that he's not learning that question, but it's a statement. That's why Nichas Kohen shows as if it says chayiv afterwards. But the Parsha Pshat seems to be like the Bnei Moshe. It's a question, and the question is left unresolved. Okay, so the Gemara says, Rabbi Yossi, this said we're getting to Rabbi Elazar Shita. In, now the word in here could mean not if, but indeed, or something that I respect. But it could mean if also. It's a little bit difficult to use the word in here. But the Karmei changed that for Yisbar Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon to in Yisbar Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Elazar. So I'm not sure you have to change the gear. So there, the in is a bit problematic when the article does anything with the word in. He learns there's a classic im, and it says it's going on. If you say Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon works out, but now it feels like Rabbi Meir, which obviously, of course, Rabbi Meir chayiv, so that's not going to work. That's push it. That's not going to work out. But I'm not sure what to do with the word in. The way I wrote it down inside my Gemara in the final analysis is that it means either Rabbi Elazar is contingent Rabbi Shimon or Rabbi Shimon is contingent Rabbi Elazar, but their shitas are linked to each other. Okay, is Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon my time? How does it work out? So there's a linkage made in the pasuk between touching kodesh, which we understand meaning to eat kodesh, and bias mikdash. Says you chayiv achilas kodesh when you're chayiv and achilas kodesh, which is when the Pesach comes betara. So then, chayiv bias mikdash, chayiv and bias mikdash. She'eino chayiv achilas kodesh when you're not chayiv and achilas kodesh. When it comes to tuma, ein chayiv bias mikdash. You're not chayiv bias mikdash. So that's Rabbi Elazar holding like Rabbi Shimon. But he with extending it because of his the connection made between chokosh lotiga, which we again, as we say, even though it's touching, Chazal says really refers to eating. Where is that Chazal? Bavli Avamas Ayin Hamad Alf. Thank you, article. So they so the link is made. So therefore, Achil and Beis Mikdash are linked. Now the next, the flip side of this, in Yisbar Rabbi Elazar Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Elazar. So the Mashbiach and Yerushalmi Pesachim both say it says Chosim and Sefer, but it's based on the Bavli, because in the Bavli, Daf Tzaddik Hey, Rabbi Elazar says as a different limud, which is not put down in Yerushalmi. So it says he learns of Vishalch Min Hamachne Shamna Kotzor Chozav V'Chol Tamei Nefesh. That's so he says when the Tmei Mesim are Mishtelech Chutz Hamachne, then the other Tmei are Chayovim on Bias Mikdash. The Mesim are not Mishtalech B'chutz HaMachane, too much of a tzibur, then the other Tmeim are not Chayav and Bias Mikdash. So if that's the case, it could be that that's the source of Rabbi Elazar, and Rabbi Shimon learns from him that. How so? So that's where it says. Rabbi Shimon Rabbi Elazar, so then really learn out from Yishachon HaMachne. And then, how do we learn that the Potter and Achila? From that hekesh, which you just said. So my time chokosh lotika dash lotavo. Eshu chayav bias mikdash chayav b'chilas kodesh. Eshu chayav bias mikdash enu chayav b'chilas kodesh. Okay, so again, according to the first in Yisbar, and now the im. Now I've said it over the im really is pretty good. Right, in the same. So if Rabbi Elazar learns Rabbi Shimon, so the source is the pasuk of which we brought down before what's the pasuk? Etc. And Rabbi Elazar learns the kekesh to be as mikdash, right? There's this other pasuk of Chokol Shetigav Mikdash Lo. And if you're going to learn like Rabbi Lezer, that the source by Bias Mikdash is that by so then the Rabbi Shimon can learn out from there that because the hekesh of Bias Mikdash to Achila, that also the Tzorah and Zav are potter from eating the Pesach Haba B'Tumah. Of course, this is if you're going to say that they're contingent on each other, but it's not necessarily contingent on each other. So it's quite possible that Shimon learns from his just about. He doesn't make this hekesh. He just learns about which is Pasuk trying the Mishnah. It's just going on Achila and Bias Mikdash Taka is like Tanakama the Bichayev, and last one is who makes the hekesh. But it says more, not necessarily. It could work out either way, depending on what the sources are. Okay, halacha. Ma ben Pesach Mitzrayim Pesach Torah. So it's usually Pesach, the Pesach they got in Egypt, and the Pesach they keep for all generations. So Pesach Mitzrayim Mikol Be'Osar Pesach Mitzrayim, they acquired it on the 10th day of Nisan, Shabbos Agoro. V'torna hazoya, and you have to sprinkle it on the doorpost. V'agudas Ezov. The court may change that to Be'agudas Ezov. You have to sprinkle the doorpost with the Agudas Ezov. I bet you the article just has the base, not the vav. No, has a vav. Okay, but even if it's a vav, it's what it means. With a bundle of hyssop, that's how you sprinkle it on the doorway. Mashkov Hashem zuzas on the lintel on the two doorposts. V'nechal has to be eaten with haste. Mitzrayim, Pesach Mitzrayim. V'layla echad, and the Yom Tov Pesach Mitzrayim is one night. For Pesach Doors, no call Shiva. The Pesach Doors is all 7 days. So there's something missing here. Says Korban Eda. And the chametz was also the entire day. Pesach Doros chimutz no called Shiva. Pesach Doros chametz all 7 days. It's trying to see lo yochal chametz samach le'atem yotzim. Korban lo yochal chametz hayom she'atem yotzim muvad. So the chametz was only also on that day that left Mitzrayim, not the rest of the days which they were traveling, and so Kriyas Yam Suf. Whereas Pesach Mitzrayim, of course, it's all 7 days. Okay. Says what about Bali movement? East Tani Dukim Tavlulim. These are the movement in the eyes, which lines or mixtures of the white and the black, etc. So it's those say Dukim Tavlulim posting bo. East Tani ain't Dukim Tavlulim posting bo. Those who say, what did Pasuk Pesach Mitzrayim? Say, didn't Pasuk Pesach Mitzrayim. Mine are doing Tavlulim Poslim Bo Nicha. Makes sense. Set Tamim. They were told to take a whole set, which is said without blemish, which has no blemish. Mine ain't doing Tavlulim Poslim Bo Mamakayim Set Tamim. What is to do with Set Tamim? So the Mashbiach and the Shana Kabshula put in line here. Maybe it's going to say that we shouldn't be missing a limb. Says why that can't be. I feel because that's even my corpus enoch. They not that is possible. Is possible by a carbon of a goy. Lokem Rabbi Yassi and Rabbi Yassi Pasha Rabbi Lezer Chavraya. Rabbi Lezer resolved to the Chavim. In other words, he brought them a source. Mikol Achai Mikol Basar. That Noach brought Mikol Achai Mikol Basar to bring as a korban. Shishlem Evreim, that to be Sholem in their Evarim, they couldn't be missing any limbs, right? So the couldn't be coming. Certainly couldn't come for that. Says no, it could be coming for that because Tami Yeshem Mizbech there, where it's a korban, and it's brought in the Mizbech. So there, they're not allowed to bring Mechusar Ever. But here, I might say the Korban Pesach Mitzrayim did not come in it was not brought in Mizbech. There's nothing brought in Mizbech. We know Mizbachos, right? They just slaughtered and ate it. So I might say that Mechusar Ever is not a problem. So therefore, Bramocha Ein Mem Mizbech. That's you need the pasuk of Satan. You tell me that you can't be Mechusar Aver. Dukva Tavlu, it's not a problem. Mechusar Aver is still a problem. So the Bechuna doesn't buy this. So Bechuna says, I don't buy this. Chidim Shem Rabbi Yirmiyah said, "Became Shksiba Kapara Kakachik Mishesh Lemizbech." No. He says that since it says that there is a kapara, easy to find psukim in the article if it brings it down, but I don't know if it brings it down here. No, he does not bring it down. Or maybe it's basic book down here. It's not. Okay, nobody brings down where it is because they all take it out. They say it's not shaykh to here. They say that this is really relevant specifically to the parallel sugya in where's the parallel sugya? In Saita, Paraktes Halacha Hey. So therefore they don't explain it. So I don't know if it actually says kapara. In any event, so the just going to Vatani King, which makes the same point. That Shalosh Mizbachos they have the same Mitzrayim. There are 3 Mizbachos in Mitzrayim, not just one, which are the Mashkav Shtei Mezuzos. So the lintel and the 2 doorposts. So according to so obviously this man Domer holds that Dukin Tavlim were bustle because he holds it was like a Mizbeach. So it's going to come out. If you hold like the first opinion that there was no Mizbeach, so therefore it comes to tell you Mechusar Aver is no good, but Dukin Tavlim are good. According to this opinion that they was as if it was Mizbeach, so Dukin Tavlim are also not good. Each time there are ba. There were 4 mizbachos. Saf, the threshold, umashkov, and the lintel, shtei mezuzos. So the question is what you learn the saf to be. Each time those say that the saf is a keli. It's not actually the skupa, not the threshold. It's a keli. It's a pasuk. Kachtam agdos yod. Faltem adam asher basaf. Faltem mashkov asher bezos min adam asher basaf. Then maltetzu ishu pesa beis boker. So the if you say it's a saf is a keli, which seems to be pushed b'shan and pasuk, so then only 3 mizbachos. If you say saf is the threshold, so then the blood went down threshold and then went to the mashkov asher bezos. There are 4 mizbachos. So Manamar again, East Tiny the Saf Keli, East Tiny Saf as a scopa. Man the Amar Saf Clay, Vesasipos is a Keli, Vesasipos from Zamros from Mizorkos. So there in that pasuk in Melachim Aleph, it's referring to Keli. Man Marsof Askupa, that's a threshold. Itipam Sapam SCP. Which is it's about the door, the threshold of the Beis Hamikdash. So Manamar Kli Nicha Dichsi Min Adam Shebasaf. So now, okay, the person knows that it was that Saf is Keli makes sense. It says Dam Shebasaf, the blood in the Keli. Manamar Saf Askopa Mamakaim Saf Keli. What does he do with the Saf? Sounds like it's a keli, a little bit choppy, but something along those lines. So maybe saf keli. I took out the word saf based on the Pnei Moshe here. Maybe keli. Does he take it out here? No. He puts it in. Maybe just leaves it. Maybe saf. He brings the saf, which is keli, but no saskopa. So according to this, the 2 sipos in the pasuk, and one saf is talking about the ascopa, and the other is talking about a keli which you put on the ascopa. So the it says Uvaltem Adam Asher Basaf. Uvaltem Ashkov Hashem Zuz Mi Adam Asher Basaf. Well, it sounds like both of them actually talk about the Keli. But the Korban says Tarti Lamali Asaf Rishon Keli Vasheni Askoipa. Okay, so the so you bring the Asaf Keli, there's a scoop of Toivel Mazeh. So you bring the it's a little bit difficult because you're putting the keli on the saf, but it especially means you have to it possibly means you also have to put it on the saf itself, not just that you put this keli on that skupa. But it could be that means that you put the keli on the skupa and you just if it's putting on the skupa itself. It's not clear. My cousin, the Offer Yerushalmi, brings down from the Meshech Chochma that the Mechilta says, Magi the cousin Shechokek Uka B'tuch HaSkupa. That actually is not the keli on the skupa, or not taking the keli and then putting on the skupa, which is unclear, as I said, from the line here, the Gemara, which way it went. But a different drush, a different malach, which is that they carved a hole into the skupa, and they put the blood in that hole. Fascinating. Okay, says next Gemara, Tani ben Bagbag Omer Setomim. The se has to be whole, and gizot mima, but you don't have to. You can shear it first. I assume before you makdish it, so it won't be mila. But you can take the shorn sheep and use it. You don't have to have the giza. But Tani, didn't we learn minatzon? You bring from the sheep. That's a mute. So you can't bring bald sheep as a korban. That's a part of the mikro, but same thing over here. No, there chalakim doesn't mean smooth, bald. It means those which the Torah set apart. A rovev, a nearby an animal which had relation to the human being, umuktev, an avad, and which is designated for avodah zarah purposes, the animal which is actually worshipped. They're no good. Rabbi Yosef said, "Af Rabbi Yosef kabazon." Okay, this is a new thing. So as Pnei Korban says, after Rabbi Yosef Yisrael Katana the Masis in the Pesach Mitzrayim Ein Chametz Noeg El Yom Echad. So Pesach Mitzrayim was Chametz only one day. Shneimar Le'ochal Chametz Samech Le'yom Batem Yotzim. And so he says, the way our Rabbi Yosef says the same thing. After Rabbi Yosef the Tani Rabbi Yosef Yomer Omer Nishloya Pesach Mitzrayim El Yom Echad B'Bat Shneimar Le'ochal Chametz Hayom. Today now to eat chametz. Okay, says Allah above. Rabbi Shua said, Shamashi Shitmuras HaPesach Kreva. I heard from my Rabbeim that if somebody made a Pesach Tamura, saying it's brought as a korban, as it says, made as a shlomim after Pesach. But Tamuras Pesach ain't Kreva. I heard that Pesach is not, the Tamura Pesach is not Kreva. That can't be brought as a shlomim, has to graze and gets a moon, may be sold, and then you bring with its money, with its value shlomim. So in the farish, I don't know when it's which. Amerikiva said on Yafarish. I'll tell you which one. If you lost a Pesach, he says another Pesach in front instead of it, and you found the first one before you shecht the second one, so they're both there. So the one which you do shecht is considered to be the current Pesach, and that which you didn't shecht, you push it off biyadayim, so it can't be itself can't be shlomim, and it's not going to be Moser Pesach, nor the Pesach itself, and therefore you have to wait till it gets a mum and then sell it. So you actually stoiv v'yimacher b'yab b'shlomim. Tmura, and so to the tmura of that that animal, you made it. It itself cannot be built shlamim, only its value. Achashitas Pesach. If after you only found the first animal after you shechted the second korban Pesach, so it was never nidche biyadayim, so therefore it itself can be brought as a shlamim, and also it's tamura. Actually, the place of curved shlamim, it's going to be brought as shlamim, and also the tmura can be brought as shlamim as well. And I believe that brings us to the bottom of Ayin Ches on base. So we'll stop here for today.